walked into a church to argue with people about the existence of God. This will probably be a pretty good opportunity for me to go and flex my intellectual prowess and argue with people at this church about why I think they're stupid for believing that God exists. For 5 years, I was an atheist, and I detested everything to do with religion, especially Christianity. So they're breaking out to prayer, and I'm still sitting there thinking, crap, now I'm definitely not going to get an opportunity to argue with people about the existence of God. But just as I was thinking that, a woman walked up to me, and she looked me in the eye, and she leaned over, and she said, in broken English, "Can I pray for you?" I didn't want to say yes, but I just thought, yeah, like I'm going to prove something to you when your prayers don't work, kind of thing. That's what was going through my head. She reached out, she put her hand on me, and she said, "In Jesus' name," and she started praying. She started praying, and I started manifesting. My body started doing things that defied metaphysics. My body started doing things that I couldn't explain. I started levitating and bouncing off of the chair that I was sitting in like a jackhammer. My feet, my butt, my hands, no part of my body was touching the ground in the chair at the same time. They were literally like bouncing, and I wasn't causing my body to do this. I didn't have control of my body. This woman started praying, and immediately my body started doing this. And in my head, I'm able to have thoughts, but I'm not able to control my arms. It's like if I was thinking, move my arm, couldn't move my arm. It's like, stop doing this. I couldn't stop doing this. I was at a loss for thought, and I couldn't control what my body was doing. Here I am locked in my head with my thinking, just thinking, I can't explain what is happening right now. I can't control my body, and I don't know what to do. I am met with this reality that I can't comprehend, but I can't deny that it's happening because it is happening. Everyone in the room that had been praying immediately stopped praying on their own, and they circle me. And they get around me, they stretch out their hands, they put their hands on each other, and now they're praying for me. And I am aware, I can comprehend, I can move my eyes, and I can see what's happening, but I'm like bouncing, watching what's happening, terrified in my mind, not able to control my body. I feel like I'm getting constricted. And it just continues to feel smaller and more suffocated, and I'm losing my breath. I'm still bouncing off the chair like a jackhammer. And everyone is still praying for me. They're all around me, they're praying, and this woman is still just screaming. All I can hear and make out in English is Jesus. And I am beginning to feel more terrified because I'm losing my breath. And then these voices started in my head. It sounded like hundreds of voices. And they were all saying, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. God doesn't love you. Kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. God doesn't love you. And I think to myself, well, I don't believe in God. So why are these voices acknowledging God? Something inside of me is directly opposed to what all of these people praying for me represent. It is at its wit's end with being in this position and being opposed by this counteracting force. What is in me? What is going on? Another voice spoke in my mind. And this one terrified me. Because when it spoke, all of the other voices shut up. And it said my name. Stephen. I just had a thought like, who are you? And the voice said, Jesus. And then it said, come and follow me. And my mind is completely clear, still comprehending the chaos that's going on. It's just fixated on the fact that this voice has spoken, this voice is terrifying me, this voice said my name, this voice has said that it's Jesus, and this voice has said, come and follow me. And I'm just thinking, follow you? Don't you know who I am? I hate you. I've spent the last 5 years of my life just detesting everything about Jesus, about religion, about Christianity, about faith. I'm an atheist. Don't you know what I've done? I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I have done so many vile and grotesque things in my life. Why do you want me to follow you? Like, this makes no sense. And the voice said again, come and follow me. And I'm like, I don't know how. And then it said, just say yes. Now, whatever's causing me to react so violently opposed to what they represent is clearly not good. Clearly, there's power in this voice, and I am terrified of this voice. I just know that it is. I know that this voice is almighty. I know that this voice is authority. I know that this voice matters. And so I realized I'd regained my ability to speak, and so I said, yes. And the second the words left my lips, everyone in the room stopped praying. And this thing that felt like absolute death just like came out of my body. It just like came out. And I took a breath. And it felt like the first breath I had ever taken in my entire life. It was like being born. And my body stopped bouncing off of the chair. It just settled. And I just like came to, and everyone is just staring at me now. And I'm just absolutely acutely aware that the situation has now changed, and that what was so wrong with me, in me, was no longer in my body and a part of me. That something had miraculously changed. And I looked, and my arms that were covered in sores from the drug use had been completely healed. There was no patch of the sores on my arms. And I just like sat up in the chair, and then the voice said again to me very clearly, meet me at the altar. It was like immediately the voice said, meet me at the altar. They parted. I stood up. I walked through them, and I turned around and I faced everyone. And then immediately I just felt this incredible feeling of warmth go into my body, fill it, and then my body just started to sway back and forth. And I wasn't controlling it again. It just started to sway. But unlike the previous feeling where it felt like constricting, where it felt like death and decay, this feeling was complete peace, joy, warmth, and assurance. No voices were in my head telling me to kill myself or that God didn't love me. My mind was completely clear and had not felt, it felt so clear that I was barely able to comprehend how different my mental thoughts were in these few short moments. It was like I was thinking as a new person, and I felt completely different than what I felt like before I walked into this church. And people know what you feel like. You know what your daily life feels like. You know how your thoughts are. You know what your mind feels like, what your body feels like. You're very familiar with yourself. I was completely different. My mind wasn't feeling the same, thinking the same, comprehending things the same. My body didn't feel the same, and I felt completely new. And then here I am standing here in this spot, swaying back and forth with this feeling coming into me of just like warmth and assurance. And then I started speaking in a language that I didn't understand. It just started coming out of my mouth. And needless to say, that is the night that absolutely changed my life, and where I went from being an atheist to being a 100% full believer in Jesus Christ.